Hello, students. Today we'll start our second poem named From Homecoming, written by R. Parthasarthi. Before starting the poem, let's read something about the R. Parthasarthi. Raja Gopal Parthasarthi was born in 1934 at Tiruppurachurai near Tiruchirappalli. He was educated at Don Bosco High School and Siddharth College, Mumbai, and at Leeds University, UK, where he was British Council Scholar in 1963 to 1964. So Artha Parthasarthi belonged to the state Tamil, and he was educated at Mumbai, and he was educated at UK, United Kingdom, England. He was a lecturer in English literature in Mumbai for 10 years before joining Oxford University Press in 1971 as regional editor in Chennai. First, he was the lecturer of English in Mumbai. Then he moved to England, and there he was then he became the Oxford University Press editor in Chennai in 1971. He moved to New Delhi in 1978. He is associate professor of English and Asian Studies at Skidmore College in Saratoga Springs, New York, USA. So then he moved to New Delhi in 1978. After that, he became the associate professor of English at New York, USA. So let's read the poem first. From Homecoming. I'm no longer myself as I watch the evening blur the traffic to a pair of obese headlights. Here, I'm no longer myself means it is I'm no longer as I used to be earlier. मतलब जिस तरह मैं पहला सी उस तरह at present my state is not like that. The evening blurred the traffic to a pair of obese headlights. And this is the evening time, and evening when the sun set, जो ट्रैफिक है, जो कुछ भी इन्वायरमेंट है, दैट बिकम्स ब्लर. ब्लर मीन्स धुंधला हो जाना. To a pair of hubby's headlights. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ when there is evening, people use headlights so that they can see what is coming, what is going, so that they can see the traffic and move further. People use headlights of the cars. Obese headlights means fat headlights. You know that headlights are quite big, so that's why he has used the word obese for the headlights. So in this first paragraph, I'm no longer myself as I watch the evening blur the traffic to a pair of obese headlights. Here the poet is saying, at present I'm not in the same state as I used to be earlier. Now it is the evening time, and evening has blurred the traffic जो धुंधला हो चुका है, and for that, to see the traffic, obese fat headlights are used. I returned home, my face pressed against the window of expectation. I climbed the steps to my flat, only to trip over the mat. Outside the door, the key goes to sleep in my palm. I return home, tired. Here the word tried is used, but it is wrong. Here the actual word is tired. The poet returns home tired. Tired means thak gaya hoya. My face pressed against the window of expectation. You know that when you are sitting in the car and when you go to the new place, everybody tries to look outside the window. Why you look outside the window? Because you wanted to see what's new here. You want to discover the new things of that place, of that new place. ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਿਊ ਪਲੇਸ 'ਤੇ ਵੀ ਲੁੱਕ ਆਊਟਸਾਈਡ ਦਾ ਵਿੰਡੋ, ਵਾਈ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਇਸ ਨਵੀਂ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ 'ਤੇ ਕੀ ਨਵਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਸਮ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟੇਸ਼ਨਸ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਇਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਮਾਈ ਫੇਸ ਪ੍ਰੈਸਡ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ the window of expectation. Similarly, the poet has some expectations. When he returned home, he's tired, and when he was coming home, when he was returning home in the car, he had some expectation that he will discover something new. Then he climbs the steps. I climbed the steps of my flat. He climbs the steps of his flat, means he goes to his house, only to trip over the mat. Trip here means slip, stumbles. The poet, when he goes home, he climbs the steps of his flat and then he slips there over the mat outside the door. There is a mat outside the door of the poet and he slips over there. The key goes to sleep in my palm. In his palm there is a key to open the door, but he no longer remember that he has the key and he can open the door. He's lost in his thoughts. That's why he says the key goes to sleep in my palm, as if he has he has forgot that he has a key in his arm, in his palm. I fear I bungled again. The poet has the fear, I have bungled again. I have done something bad. Bungled means done badly. He's thinking that I have done something bad. He's no longer himself. He's not at present he's not in the same state as he used to be, and he thinks that he has done something bad. The last refinement of the speech terrifies me. Speech means the language he speaks. As he is not at present he is not living in his state Tamil, he feels that the last refinement of speech, he has become the professor of English, he is the lecturer of English, he is writing the poetry in English, he has become the editor of English, and English has refined his own language. The last refinement of the speech. English, बार English use करते हैं. When you use English more in your language, for example, you have Punjabi as your mother language, but when you are using English more, then what happens? ਜੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਦਰ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੂਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਵੀ ਡੋਂਟ ਨੋ ਦ ਲਿਟਰੇਚਰ ਆਫ ਆਰ ਮਦਰ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ, ਵੀ ਡੋਂਟ ਨੋ ਕਿ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਨਾਂਸੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਆਫ ਦ ਵਰਡਸ ਆਫ ਮਦਰ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ. That's what the poet is feeling here. He feels that he has done something bad. What bad he has done? The last refinement of speech terrifies me. किस चीज़ का उन्हें डर लग रहा है कि जो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के यूज़ के नाल जो मेरी स्पीच है, जो मेरी मदर लैंग्वेज है, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ चेंजेस आ गई हैं. The balloon of poetry has grown red in the face with the repeated blowing. And his writing, the balloon of poetry, he has written a lot of poetry. Balloon means in balloon there is a lot of air. Similarly, he has written a lot of poetry, has grown red in face with repeated blowing. He feels that I have got repeated blowing. Blowing matlab किसी ਨੂੰ मारना. If you get slaps, if you get blowing from somebody, your face will become red. Or similarly, he's writing the poetry he has written a lot of poetry in English, and that poetry he has written in English has hit him hard, and his face has become red with that blowing. For scriptures, I therefore recommend the humble newspaper. I find my prayers occasionally answered there. I shall perhaps go on. Then he writes, we know that Tamil is a very rich language, and for scriptures, I therefore recommend the humble newspaper. I find my prayers occasionally answered there. And for he says that if I want to read the scriptures for reading scriptures, I therefore recommend the humble newspaper. Humble means here simple newspaper. We know that if we talk about Punjabi, we have the Punjabi newspaper. We have Ajit as Punjabi newspaper, we have Jagvani as the Punjabi newspaper. So this, if we talk about the scriptures की ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ holy books, okay. Or if we want, if we want to read the holy books in Punjabi, we can, if we don't know how to read the holy books, how to read the scriptures in Punjabi, then we can, how, from where we can start, we can start from the, from reading the simple newspapers. If we can read those simple newspapers, we will be able to read the holy scriptures after some time. So that's why he's writing for scriptures. If we want to know, if you want to read the scriptures in Tamil, if you want to know what is written in the scriptures of the Tamil language, holy books of the Tamil language, therefore I recommend the humble newspaper. If you want to read that, first read the newspapers of that language. I find my prayers occasionally answered there. What is his prayer? His prayer is to read the holy scriptures. His prayer is to know about his state Tamil. His prayer is to develop the link with his own language. So that link, where, from where he gets that link? He gets the link from the, he gets the link with his own language from the newspapers of that language. I find my prayers occasionally answered there. I find that whatever I pray, I want to know about the Tamil language, I want to know about the Tamil state. I find it's in newspapers, I get the knowledge, I get the information I want. I shall perhaps go on. Maybe it is not when you have made the decision, when you have gone beyond in life, it is very difficult to go back. So he thinks that I won't be able to, now I won't be able to, maybe I won't be able to get back to the original state, original language of Tamil. So I think I shall perhaps go on. So he finds that I think I have to go on like this in my life. Like this, unmindful of the day, melting into the night, my heart I have turned inside out. Like this, unmindful of the day, melting into the night. We know that day starts and we are very unmindful, we are not concerned when the night will comes, or when the day continues and automatically the night comes, and then night when after the night there comes the day, and then the day finishes and the night finishes, day start. Every this process of night and day is going on. We are not we are unmindful, we have no worries about the how night will come and how the day will be formed. We have no worries. So he's writing, unmindful of the day melting into the night. We know that every day, every time day finishes and night comes, day melts into the night, after the day comes the night. And similarly, he says that my heart, I have turned inside out. I have, I have, I have placed, I have openly said whatever there is there, whatever there is in my heart. Turned out, inside out is the imagery. Like when you come home and you're wearing the jeans, you're wearing the pants, and you want to check if there is something in your pants pockets, what do? You take the pocket out, you take the cloth that is in the that is in the pants, you take that cloth out, you take that cloth inside out, you completely take that cloth outside to know if there is something in your pants. Similarly, this imagery has poet used inside out. He has from this he means that he has placed his heart openly in front of everybody. He has accepted his mistake. What is his mistake? He has got indulged, he has got engaged himself in the foreign language, and now that language, that foreign language, English language, has become so much his own that he finds that his original language as the foreign language, as the alien language which he is not able to understand. Therefore, I should be content. Content here means the satisfied. The poet is writing, I should be satisfied, I think, to go through life with the small change of uncertainties. You know that change is the law of nature. Nothing remains static, everything changes with the passage of time. And he said that as I can read the newspaper, I can know the language of Tamil, so I should be content with whatever knowledge I have about my own language. And I think one has to go through his life with the small changes of uncertainties. Uncertain ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਜਿਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੋਰਿਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਅਨਸਰਟੇਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਜਿਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੱਕਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ, ਜਿਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਂ। And life is like that. Life is very uncertain. You cannot predict what will happen the next day. It is very uncertain life. So when every day comes, it becomes some change, and we have to accept the changes, we have to accept the uncertainties of the life, and we have to go through like this in the life. So this poem is about the poet's alienation from his own language, Tamil. Here, if I will repeat from the first paragraph. Here, I'm no longer myself as I watch the evening blur the traffic to a pair of obese headlights. We see in the first paragraph, we feel that it looks like the poet is returning home after the day's work. But here the poet is not returning from the work to his house. Here the poet wants to return from English language to the Tamil language. It is the dialogue. This whole poem is a dialogue between the poet and his Tamil language and his Tamil past. मतलब पहला ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬੱਚੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ? ਸਟਾਰਟਿੰਗ when he started his education, when he started his life, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ? ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ। ਬਟ ਹੁਣ ਜੋ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਆ ਚੁੱਕੀਆਂ। ਤਮਿਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤਮਿਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਆ ਚੁੱਕੀਆਂ ਆ। ਬਟ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਤੋਂ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਦੈਟਸ ਵਾਈ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਜੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਮਿਲ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਸੀ, ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਸੀ, ਅੱਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਧੁੰਦਲਾ ਧੁੰਦਲਾ ਦਿਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਨੀਡ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੈਡਲਾਈਟਸ, ਓਬੀਜ਼ ਫੈਟ ਹੈਡਲਾਈਟਸ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਟ੍ਰੈਫਿਕ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ, ਸਿਮਿਲਰਲੀ ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਟੂ ਨੋ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ। ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਵਾਪਿਸ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਘਰ, ਮੀਨਸ ਵੈਨ ਹੀ ਕਮਸ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਹਿਜ਼ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ, ਉਹ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਅਪਣਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, ਥੱਕਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਰਗੀ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਟੂ ਰਾਈਟ ਦਾ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ, ਟੂ ਨੋ ਦਾ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ। ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਆ, ਉਹ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਾਂਗਾ। ਉਹਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਵਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ, ਕੁਛ ਡਿਸਕਵਰੀ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦਾ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਹੀ ਸਲਿਪਸ, ਮਤਲਬ ਸਟੰਬਲ, ਲੋਸਟ ਦਾ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ। ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਾ, ਫਿਰ ਗਿਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਸਿਮਿਲਰਲੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਲੋਸ ਦਾ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਮੀਨਸ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਬੇਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ ਲਿਖਣੀ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਖੋ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਖੋ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੜ੍ਹ ਤੋਂ, ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਜੜ੍ਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਜ਼ਬੂਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਹੈ, ਹੀ ਹੈਜ਼ ਲੋਸਟ ਹਿਜ਼ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੜ੍ਹ ਤੋਂ ਉਖੜ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੀ, ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਇੰਨੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਿ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖ ਸਕੇ। He has the key goes to sleep in his palm. Key here could means the pen, the pencil, ਕਲਮ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ ਲਿਖਣੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਕਲਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ ਲਿਖਦਾ ਆ, ਬਟ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤਾਂ ਕਲਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਹੈ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ, ਲਿਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ, ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਲਮ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਹੈ। ਦੈਨ ਹੀ ਫੀਲਸ ਦੈਟ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਝ ਗਲਤ ਕੀਤਾ। ਕੀ ਡਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹਾਂ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਂ ਜੋ ਲਾਸਟ ਰਿਫਾਈਨਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਈ, ਜੋ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲਿੰਕ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹਨੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਕਚੁਅਲ ਸਪੀਚ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਰਿਫਾਈਨ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਅਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਪੋਇਟਰੀ ਲਿਖ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਹਾਂ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਲਾਈਕ ਕਿ ਉਸਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਫੇਸ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਡ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵਿਦ ਰਿਪੀਟਿਡ ਬਲੋਇੰਗ, ਵਿਦ ਦ ਰਿਪੀਟਿਡ ਯੂਜ਼ ਆਫ ਦਾ English language. Now that language has hit me hard. For scriptures, I therefore recommend the humble newspaper. He can no longer write the scriptures, he can no longer learn the scriptures or understand the scriptures of Tamil language. And for that, instead of that, he wants ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਸਿਰਫ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਨਿਊਜ਼ਪੇਪਰ ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਗੁਜ਼ਾਰਾ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਜੋ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੇਅਰਸ ਹੈ ਟੂ ਨੋ ਦਾ ਤਮਿਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਨੂੰ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਨਾ, ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਨਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਰਿਫਾਈਨਮੈਂਟ, ਕੀ ਚੇਂਜਿਸ ਆਈਆਂ ਆ। ਤਮਿਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਵੀ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਉਹ ਪੁਰਾਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੇਂਜਿਸ ਆ ਚੁੱਕੀਆਂ ਆ। ਐਂਡ ਫॉर दैट ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਯੂਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਦ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਨਿਊਜ਼ਪੇਪਰ। ਉਹ ਦੈਨ ਹੀ ਟਾਕਸ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਿਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਰਾਤ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਲ ਗੋਜ਼ ਔਨ ਲਾਈਕ ਦੈਟ। ਐਂਡ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀ, ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਓਪਨ ਮਾਈ ਹਾਰਟ ਇਨ ਫਰੰਟ ਆਫ ਯੂ ਇਨ ਦਿਸ ਪੋਇਮ, ਐਂਡ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ। Now I have to be content, I have to be satisfied with this small changes that comes in life, and life is uncertain, and I have to I have to accept these uncertainties in life, and I have to go through like this in my life. So here it is about the use of the language. It is about the how the language, own language, his own Tamil language has now become the foreign language, and that foreign language, English, has become his own language. And he wants to return home, he wants to return back to the language, but he is not able to do so. From homecoming is about coming back to the language Tamil. I hope you have understood the poem, and in this PDF there are other notes to know about the poem in a better way. I hope you will understand it, read it. Thank you very much.